All right. We're getting things started and up and running. Let me go ahead and disable that. Okay. Welcome. As you can see, this is another live talking discussion and another original series that I'm creating, another video. So, for this one, it's a review of a recent TV show I watched. Of course, if you've seen a video right recently that of my predictions of season 3, we'll get that right after my review because I do have a theory about it. We're getting everything's up and running. But for those who haven't seen this series, this is a TV show series, and I'm about to explain what is it about. So basically, this character is about a part of the one of the anime series, similar to if you're going to seeing like anime series in school. This character, in my own review that I'm talking about, is about a character named Iruma, which basically he's a human at 14 years of age. He finds himself going to he finds himself like doing like a kid that shouldn't be doing, which is basically in the working field at an early age, since his parents failed to make him go to a proper school in a proper age, so he was forced to work at his young life. So one day, basically, a demon ends up taking him against his will into the netherworld, which were filled with demons. And from there, he ends up realizing that his parents sold him his soul to a demon, which is basically wasn't cool. But when he goes into this world, all of a sudden, basically, this person we call the Lord Savius himself. Correct me if I'm wrong. He ends up becoming his grandpa and wants to raise this child properly into a new school with a bunch of these demons. However, he has to put these spells on him and these casting like abilities in order to prevent any demons from noticing he's a human. So as he goes through this new school life, and he has to face with upcoming challenges in order to survive, and he's dealing with already a lot of naughty students, and challenges him through the every time he goes through the school and meets his like all these like ability demons that have like crazy abilities. So what I'm realizing that this is about a character who wants to go through a school basically and try to not get detected that he's a human while facing and surviving challenges beyond no one believes. So as he goes through the entire season, it's completely insane. Now, I don't necessarily say it's really at its best, because here's what I think it's suffering from. Now I gotta say the bad side of it. It's suffering from one of those, like, if you've seen that one TV show Sword Art Online, where half is good and half is bad. That's what it's kind of suffering from. But instead of half and half, it's instead suffering from so much comedy in there that it just their writers were kind of like didn't know exactly where they wanted to go with this thing, and then the comedy starts to pour in so much that it starts becoming a laugh track, similar to the It thing, where the music becomes a laugh track, just shoving it down your throat nonstop. So what that's the only thing that I just kind of like realize maybe there's something that's do need to be changed or fixed. However, the show is really good, and it shows the abilities of Iruma ranking up, since he able to get this really great power that hints like a prophecy from the beginning of the early of the first episode, where there's a new prophecy where a demon lord is gonna be came from the world from the above, and basically have this like ring and do this whole like commanding of the entire nether world, which is completely insane, and that he will wear this ring as a way to show that he's the one that's going to be the next ruler of this world. But again, as the TV show progresses, there's a lot of like comedy crusades, a lot of people dancing around. Again, I do wanted to have like a discussion, so you feel free to comment if you have thoughts, and we can discuss them together. If you haven't seen this or not, it's on Crunchyroll, so you can able to watch it from there. The only thing I would say that this character himself is still like when he's in, because he has a good side and he has an evil side. So it was only when he got to his evil side that things started getting interesting in season 2. But before I get to season 2, there is of course some attempts where there's like someone in season 1 that was trying to destroy the school, but that's like further into season 1. Though he is working for someone, I can tell there's like, and if you've seen our life, in our side, there's always going to be those evil attempts that are trying to do something to harm the community or society. So they have always villains in there that are trying to do the same in the netherworld, where they're trying to destroy some parts to cause chaos in the netherworld and get these demons to rally up and do destruction, something like that. Though there is a lot of characters that I do enjoy. Carlimelius is another one that I enjoy. That he's like a professor who's trying to teach these demons, and though his personality is really not that great, he does show a passion that he does want to, put these like, because he's the one in charge of these, the where Aruma's like intending, and so basically that's his professor, and he has to go through what he wants them to do and how he teaches them, and he had to go through other professors as well who show them the rankings of how to do it. But there is another character, which is the student council, which starts to have a love interest by, and it's shocking. I'm really shocked that student council, who's like a good height age, sees Arima as someone that she can fall in love with. Which it's really good how the relationship starts getting stronger and stronger as the episodes progress. However, I do want to say that there is weak points such as Alice and of course Carol, which both of them are still kind of weak. Basically, they're just mostly like want to be their servant to Arima. Though it's only when he in season 2 when he gets to his bad side, the evil side, because there's like an evil cycle they created where demons become evil for like maybe 2 to 1 day. So when he had like a spell under him, since he was wearing this ring of power, it's similar like the Lord of the Rings basically, but instead of like where some person wears a ring and they're in power, it's a ring that gives them power in order to do all these crazy abilities just like the rest of the demons can. So this ring helps Arima to show his strength, his abilities with the power, what the ring power can do. And when it shows his evil side, that's what got me interested even more. That I just love those episodes when he becomes his evil side and showing his true purpose and capability of what he can do, and how he reacts to the others, misfits they call them, to show his true strength and true purpose of what he's gonna be doing. And it made me flip when he actually achieved something insane of making himself into a castle. If you correct me if I'm wrong, this thing was like there was a previous demon lord in there that was basically like building this empire that built this netherworld, and when he disappeared he basically did not give an explanation why. And so Iruma feels like he wants to lead up to the next ruler and step of this thing, and he shows in that episode like near the end of his cycle of what he purpose and true intentions were, and it just made me insane that it just went down that path. But overall, this TV show is showing a lot of like crazy stuff and a lot of twists and turns of each air character and what they want to do in their life. Though the only thing I have to say, if you're not a fan of the comedy that laughs, or like a laugh track comedy that shoves down your throat, this is probably not the TV show you're gonna like, because it does do a lot of that crusade comedy of just putting that thing in down your throat, and that's basically what this show is suffering from season 1 and 2 that I've seen. Though it has still interesting characters, and I still recommend to watch it on Crunchyroll or some other site, that if you know any other ones, that this is one that I do appreciate if you want to take a look at, enjoy it. But again, I still think there still needs to be a lot of fixes and helps, and I still want to put my own theories and thoughts that I think should be able to make this TV show even better. If you are familiar with Harry Potter, and Fantastic Beast. I think not from Fantastic themselves, but Harry Potter did have the same theme vibe where in the beginning it had like them in school doing all these crazy stuff and showing their thing, but then there was a dark side where all of a sudden something did not feel right, something was not looking good, and you knew that this was going to get much worse to the point where it leads to violence and destruction. So I think in my theories there should be something similar like that in this series where there's some darker side that violence and destruction may happen, and knowing that it will be up to Iruma to have to save the netherworld from being destroyed. And my personal theories, I think they should probably send maybe counter some close encounters like from the ones in space, which are aliens. I think that if we have aliens in season 3 and do more like a Harry Potter vibe where destruction and chaos will start happening, I think it would probably go down very crazy. Because my theories were in season 3, we have arrivals of the close encounters with these aliens where they come out of existence to Earth just so they can come to the human planet and then destroy. Since they can sense, like my theory is they can sense a human down underneath this core Earth world where it opens this large crusty thing to the netherworld and ends up invading their netherworld, knowing that it was Irma's fault that he wanted to because he was in the netherworld that the aliens came down and started invading, doing all this crazy chaos. And in the events, we lose all these superpower demons because the aliens have the same ability, like they're equal same ability too, where they have power as well. Because you don't know what the aliens are capable of either. We had even like theories where monsters versus alien thing, where you had different abilities and knowing who's stronger than the other. So if we have something like in this TV show where it will be demons versus aliens, it'll be insane to know who will be thriving. Of course, Irma is the one that probably will be responsible for this. That's what my theory was to have something like that in season 3 where it will show sadness, it will show something like crazy, and then it'll lead to the events where in season 4 humanity will start interfering in the netherworld, and since they lost all their powerful demons, they'll alliance them, these military humans, what we call similar to Area 51 people, will alliance themselves with these ones that are trying to cause chaos in the nether to do some crazy weapons from the alien technology they used from season 3 and try to do some chaos and more harm than good to the netherworld. And it's up to Iruma to save the day and lead to the prophecy, of course, that will shake up things and show that he's the one that's going to take over, since all the powerful ones are dead, that he's the last one powerful enough to do it. So that's all what I have to say for that of my theory, that if they go down that route, I think it will show something really fantastic, and it will save the show itself and put it more darker in a way that it will probably have more action and more thriller in there. Even though it is maybe comedy that they probably have to forcefully put in there, at least they'll put more action than the way season 1 and 2 has been doing. Although the review of season 1 and 2, again, he has to go through a bunch of obstacles, and it gets to meet all these characters, including not limited to he has to also face these so-called how you say this, he has to face the border patrol characters, the one that talks to him in the ring. You don't know what their intentions are, and they're really like, even though he commands him to do whatever power he wants, the ring still has its own thoughts of what it wants to do and how angry it is, and it wants to show him something different. Even though it's still cartoonish, there is a chance that this ring is more capable than he realizes and has more potential power than he never thought he can do. Because we just seen a peak when he was barely upgrading his rank of how powerful he was already becoming, and showing how much the ring could do for him. And because it already changed his appearance in that one scene he did, but mostly his strength and powers, it showed how he was able to do something just with his own vision. So that was pretty insane. Again, there's still more than stake to know what is going to happen through the entire show. Although there's another one I do want to mention, which is like pretty interesting, and that's the Demon Lord himself, which he is still missing. However, the Demon Lord is still seeing the view from the entire Netherworld and a secret place while watching this view, and he's just like one character I want to see what his intentions or his motivation, since he did was the missing demon. Sorry, excuse me. He was the missing demon after all. So I'm kind of curious of where it would go to there, and I'm already like quiet all of a sudden. Dude. I'm gonna put some mutes on because there's like hardly anything going on. There we go. That's much better. I've been quiet for a long time. So it's like the whole damn thing I've been quiet. So those are my thoughts and the review basically of the whole show. Again, I would give this rating probably like a 7 out of 10. Means it's still a good show, though it still lacks upon the comedy, and it still needs to pick it up better with the writers, because the writers still didn't know what they're doing, and it's similar to the Sword Art Online. And I believe that they still, if they go with my theory and my thoughts with using aliens and going humanity conflict, I think it will send them a better path. Each character though still has the potential to show their true ambitions, because you don't know what they're capable of, and they're just showing peaks of it basically. Every episode that I felt through each of this series still, had them, exploring the lores of Iruma himself, and of course showing what their backstory is. Because I saw, we call it, is his name Carnibulus's backstory of how he was a young teenager. He was picked on a lot, and he had no choice but to fight them off. And there was one character who framed them all, which was Opera, the servant of the Lord Sylvian. Hopefully I said it right. And he basically always used him for something, and that's why he was always like afraid of him, because he like showed him as his true purpose as making him a puppet. So I was really shocked. Although it's shocking that Iruma was able to make him as as one of those like puppet things, where it's like he looked like one of those like fluffy like little I don't know what to call it. It's like one of those like little like pets that you have around, that he was able to transform into a pet, which is hilarious. But again, if now it's like he has to use it for only special reasons, though he does make fun of it in one of the episodes when he was in his evil side, though he couldn't actually do it because he took it away from him. He knew that he wouldn't allow that. But he did still had him same himself, and he still had to go like help out and keep Iruma from doing any more trouble than it already was. The other two characters, like his servants, like Alice, and they're okay. They still were like kind of trolling a bit when with Iruma, trying to be always like there for him and trying to be, asking his command of whatever they grant his wish grants them. Why the other one, Karika, just wouldn't stop talking. She always sings. Her moods like mostly like just nothing but singing to talking, and she does like this crazy like if mood where it's like, if you ever seen that TV show from it was a long time ago. There was this DC TV show with all these like misfit characters, and there's this one character had different personalities of like all the time, like nothing but so many different personalities. That's what this character reminds me of, where her personality changes instantaneously to non-stop, and it just will continue endlessly. So that's what this character reminds me of, where it's like this character is going to change regardless and won't stop. So again, I hope that their future, the characters and the show will go stronger, because I still see potential of saving this TV show to be even better than the way it's currently at, because it does end. And again, this is spoilers. If you haven't seen this TV show, you just stop watching this video altogether, because you're gonna get spoiled. At the end of the TV show from season 2, episode 21, it does show basically the continuation of how season 3 is going to be put out and the starting point. We don't know the continuation of that, but the order to stay at Royal 1, basically the king's tomb, they have to do this competition which they have to pass in order to stay in Royal 1. Otherwise they're going to be sent back to the old crappy classroom with all this rats and greasy stuff, trash in the hallway, and then all the graffiti to open cracked windows that makes the room smell and cold. So that's probably what their next task is going to be for the next season. So I can't wait to see that. I'm still hoping my theory will come in play, because that is something that I think will make a far more TV show to make it pick up the pace and make it great glory again. But rather than all, yeah, those are my thoughts and opinions. I'm welcome to still take any other thoughts if anyone has anything, because I do want to hear what your opinions are, and we can engage with more of that. Rather than that, it looks like I'll be finishing up from here and seeing what else is though. I do want to say more thing though. The character developments of every individual character has potential to continue, and there is hope that there's gonna be some sort of twist at the end of this series that will lead Iruma revealing himself as the prophecy say, and I know that these characters will soon become his servants and his doing to be the next stage of how he wants them to be commanded and where they want to go next with the Netherworld. So those are what I had to say. Again, that's all for this chat thing. If there's anything else, I'll be welcome to do it now. Otherwise, I'll see you on another original video from your Zero Pal, Jimmy Wilson. So again, thank you again so much. It wasn't very a long this chat discussion, and yeah, that's all I have to say. If you haven't seen it, see it now. Otherwise, that's all. Bye bye.